Hey guys, I'm back. I want to talk to you guys about a topic that I am very, 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 very serious about. Okay, one thing that people know about me, and the people that know me best, I don't like drama or negativity. I just don't. I've recently had to learn in years that there's a such thing as toxic positivity, which is when you're trying to turn everything into something positive. So I've learned how to deal with negativity, but with a grain of salt. I've learned that you can't just completely block out negativity altogether, and that there will be days and times and people where you will be challenged to, cope with or deal with the negative circumstances. But this video is particularly for people who feel like life or their situation, their circumstances suck, and it's just always you. It's just always you. Nothing's ever panning out. Nothing's never working for you. You did all you could, but it didn't work. You feel like XYZ. I don't want you guys to fall into a cycle of victim mentality, because once you get into that cycle, it becomes very dangerous for you to get out, because now you become delusional with yourself and allowed yourself to believe these little lies that you told yourself. Life is going to feel negative. Situations are going to feel negative when you are a negative person, when you have a negative mindset. There is a such thing as outcome. No, optimism is a huge key factor in going forward in life. It's a key factor in how you weigh the situation for yourself. And when you're negative, it seems like there's no solution, and that to me is just the devil talking. I'll talk to people sometimes, and I try to avoid or limit conversation with people who feel like there's no way out. I'm stuck. This isn't going to work. I won't be able to do this. XYZ. I'll listen to you, but after I'm done listening to you, I'm probably going to slowly reduce the amount of times that I speak to you throughout the day or throughout the week, because this is not good for me. This is not good for me to tune into. And I try to remind people that right now, in your life, things probably really do suck. They probably really absolutely 100% suck. Because right now, things absolutely 100% suck for me. But I'm just not willing to quit on myself, and I'm not willing to give up. And so when I start to listen to people that are doubtful or negative or afraid or scared, I start to wonder about myself. It feels like allowing a little bit of water to seep into my own plans. And I really don't like that. And I don't like that I am capable of allowing it to happen, but it's the truth. And so I want you to understand that when you're a negative person, you will have a negative mindset and everything seems negative. You have to work on your optimism. You have to work on your faith. You have to work on believing yourself when nothing is working, or else you're working towards nothing. If every time something doesn't work out, you can just fall apart and throw your hands up in the air and believe that there is no point or reason for why you're doing what you're doing, you might want to sit down and have a conversation with yourself. It might not be the outside world or the circumstances, because one thing I can guarantee you is that no matter how good of a plan you have, no matter how happy or ready you are to pursue something, does not mean that nothing else is going to happen to derail you. And I honestly feel like this is a test. I honestly feel like this is God, and this is the universe, and this is even for yourself to wonder, how bad do you really want it? Right? My pastor, he made a very good point. I think it was like early last year that I was listening to this, and he said that there was times when after his wife passed away where he didn't want to get out of the bed, and he didn't want to do anything, and he didn't want to cook for his kids. And he had to ask himself, he asked to be a pastor. He prayed to have the word of God be sent to him. But here he was lying in bed, not making any progress or pushing the needle forward towards delivering service, to studying, towards studying and worshiping God and sharing that message with people. And he had to ask himself, God, I prayed for this. I prayed for times where I could share the word with people. How bad do I really want it if I'm laying here and I'm not doing it? It's okay to feel broken. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry, because I have been all of the above in less than 24 hours. I really have. But what I cannot allow is my situations and circumstances to change my heart. I can't allow it to be angry, because once you become angry and you become bitter, there really is no fighting spirit. There's no wind left for you to keep fighting the fight. And life is hard. Nobody said it was going to be easy. And sometimes it just plain suck, or it could be unfair, and things just do not work out in your favor. And I can understand that, because I've been on the receiving end of that as well. But you're gonna have to learn to push forward and change your mindset. Your negativity may be blocking out a lot of things for you. You might be pushing people away. You might be making poor decisions. You might be missing out on opportunities because you're too negative to see that there is a light on the other side. And I do feel like there were times in my life where I felt very negative, where I felt like there was no hope, and I was just a whole different version of Janae. And when I was like that, I felt like everything was negative. I felt like everything that was negative became enhanced in my life, actually. And I felt like I was in the dark. And when you're in the dark, dark things happen. And so I came out of the dark, and I decided, I'm going to go back and give myself to God. I'm going to return to my home church and attend alone for weeks. I walked to the church 15 to 20 minutes on foot, took my shoes off, put them back on when I got to the church, and I attended church alone. Why? Because I felt like I was on a separate journey from everybody else. I wanted to get out of that negative mindset. I wanted to get out of that dark place, and I was desperate. I was fighting, for my life spiritually. And I feel like that moment, that year that I decided to do that, changed my life. It was so bad that I would lie to people about going to church. I'm sorry, but I would lie to people about going to church, and people were like, "Where are you going?" I'll say, I'm probably not going to go this weekend, or I'm doing XYZ, because that was a process that I felt like I needed to do alone. And sometimes you need to sit down and you need to do the work alone, and you need to quiet yourself down. You need to detach, and you need to unplug from everything, because some of you people are too wired up. You're too constantly plugged into everything to even hear anything, to even think, to even compartmentalize and assess your own thoughts, because you need constant distraction. You're either always on the phone talking to somebody, always listening to music, always scrolling through something. And even when you have your moments in time in nature, you allow people to interrupt that, and you call it them keeping you company while you're on your walk. I don't do that. All right. If I'm on a nice and peaceful walk and I'm enjoying nature, I tune out, and the only thing I want to listen to is the damn birds. I want to listen to the birds and the air and the silence. It's good for you to unplug. So when you're constantly wired up, depending on what you're watching and who you're listening to, that may also be fueling your negativity. You might be talking to the wrong people or watching the wrong things, even if it's your fault. So I want you guys to stray away from doing that and pay more attention to your daily routine. Pay more attention to your inner thoughts and what you're saying to yourself when you're alone, what you're listening to, what you're allowing other people to say to you. Because you will find yourself in this negative place. There's some people that are so negative that I just cannot, and I will not. I just cannot. I tell the people I love you. I really, really do. But you're going to have to work on some stuff. And if you feel like you don't need to, that is fine. That is absolutely fine. I still accept you. I still love you. But I'm tuning out. Okay? Because it's that easy. It's that easy. I'm not going to go into the whole science of how the brain works and stuff like that. But it's easier than you think to be negative. It's easier to wake up and choose to be pissed off and be in a funky mood than it is to practice positivity when things aren't working. When it is to be happy and stand up straight and smile when you're breaking inside, when it hurts. It's easier to just be humglum and be nasty and have a nasty attitude. Just like it's easier to resort to anger as an emotion to deal with things, as a coping mechanism. You've trained yourself to believe that this is the only go-to emotion. Of course, people want to get angry. When something happens, of course, my natural reaction is to be pissed off and be angry. But stopping to think, to control myself, to weigh the consequences and the pros and the cons of the situation is harder. And so therefore, when people are constantly angry or negative, I look at it as a sign of immaturity. I look at it as a sign that you need to grow and you need to change your behavior, and you need to stop giving yourself passes and allowing yourself to slide. Children have temper tantrums. And children have temper tantrums for a reason. Children have temper tantrums because they don't know better. And you teach them better. And they start to learn, okay, I can't throw toys and things at the wall or the floor because I'm upset. That's not how I'm supposed to deal with things. And so what is our excuse when we get older and we become adults that we can't control this? Yes, we are a human, because people are going to say, well, we're human. Yeah, we are. I want to punch something. I want to break something sometimes. But if it's your constant go-to to deal with things, to solve your problems, it's going to become a part of your identity. It's going to become your go-to. You're going to start to believe, okay, without even thinking about it, just snap, you're just immediately angry or negative about a situation. And so I try to stay away from people that don't have solutions to problems. I try to refrain from thinking like that myself. There's a lot of times where I'll get into a hole and I'm like, it's pointless. I don't feel like there's any progress. But I remind myself, hey, you're just afraid. You're just scared. A lot has happened. Let it pass. And sometimes on those days when it doesn't pass, I just tune out from everything. I shut everything off. I sit in silence for a little while. Maybe I'll watch a TV show or a movie for a few hours and sit there and I'll really think to myself, is that feeling or that thought real? Or am I just psyching myself out? Am I just lying to myself to find a reason to quit prematurely? And most of the time we are. You don't want to deal with reality head on. You rather just sulk and sit in your shell and decide and say that nothing's working. It's harder to get up and fight. Nobody said it was easier to get up and fight. Nobody said that your situation was easy to fix. Some of us have been really screwed over. Some of us have been done dirty. Some of us are in a really bad place in our life, financially, mentally, emotionally, because of other people. But you have to decide if this is where you're going to stay. You have to decide if you're going to let that person win. You're going to have to decide how much you want to change your life, how much you want the things that you say you want for yourself, and then you get out of that hole. So I made this because I feel like a lot of people feel like things are extremely bad for them, but I also feel like their mindset plays a part. And I've been here before, and that's why I wanted to share that story with you. So again, if you guys like and enjoy the videos, please share them. Please subscribe to the channel so you can get more videos. Listen to this when you're driving to work. Listen to this when you're laying down at night before bed. Just, unplug and plug yourself up with some positivity, with some inspiration, with some motivation. On this channel, we're going to dig a lot into ourselves. We're going to confront ourselves and our ways of thinking and take accountability so that we can move on and lead healthier and better lives. So it was a pleasure sharing this with you guys today and talking to you. I do hope that you guys like and subscribe. I will be watching. Take care. Have a good day.